Extreme Collectibles here with a question. Do you ever have deja vu? Extreme Collectibles here with a question. Do you ever have deja vu? The sensation of doing something you've done before? Well, if you're looking at this custom quarter scale Colossus Wolverine Fastball statue, you're thinking you already reviewed this, Mr. X. That's right. But there is something significantly different. It has a different custom base. So that's what we're going to look at today. Extreme Collectibles here with a custom quarter scale Fastball Wolverine Colossus statue base. So if you didn't watch the intro, then this is a piece I reviewed before. Here's a picture of the original review. And as you can see, there's a significant difference, namely the base. I went ahead and got a custom base for this custom piece because the original base, as cool as it was, being the biggest sentinel hand I've ever seen in my life, it was too big and too heavy. That's what she said. So it just, compared to this, it's massive. Here's some side-by-side pictures that I took earlier. And as you see here, this doesn't even do it justice, but this new custom base is probably a quarter, ironically a quarter scale, about a quarter of the size of the original, if not less. And it probably weighs about 7 or 8 times less. So obviously if you're going to put this piece on a shelf or something like that. So I purchased this from someone who's advertising it on Facebook, and I have a few friends that got certain ones as well. This is kind of, you know, just, I guess this is what he does. He does custom bases. This is my first piece from him. Cost $350. Unfortunately, there are some design issues, and I reached out to him this morning. I got up at 3 a.m. on a Saturday because I don't know why I do that. But the pegs, the keys will not go in. So, it's a huge gap on both sides. I don't know what we're going to do about it. I was hoping if I let it sit for a few hours, maybe some weight would help. It hasn't helped. So, I don't know. Cyclops is almost splitting when I try and get it in right. If I get one in all the way, the other's completely off and vice versa. So that really sucks because this almost splitting when I try and get it in right. If I get one in all the way, the other's completely off and vice versa. So that really sucks because this is a really cool piece. So obviously this is a custom, it's made to order, and he does a few different variations. So one of my friends, not real friends, Facebook friends, because if you just know me on Facebook, then you're just a Facebook friend. He got one that's kind of snow covered, so that was an option as well. And then he also threw in a whole bunch of metallic parts that you could put out here, but they're actual real metallic parts and some were dirty, so I didn't want to put them on there. Or you could kind of do this woody scenario type feel. I didn't go with the snow because I think snow is really hard to do, so I don't know if it was done well or not. I saw some pictures that looked really good, but I went with this, and the plants in the pictures did not look good, but it's really good. So let me just kind of talk how this falls into the concept of this piece. I already talked about the design issues. And on a side note, this was the second or third batch of this piece. So it's very possible there was a difference in the manufacturing of the piece since he makes all the bases the same. And I know my friend, it fit in perfectly. So it's possible Colossus was difference. I almost said Cyclops was difference. I almost said it again. Fuck. Don't get up at 3 a.m. on Saturdays. It's very possible that Colossus is different, and that's why he's not keying in, which if that's the case, I don't know how we're going to solve it. But you know, Colossus, you know, throwing Wolverine, I'm not going to talk too much about that. But obviously they're in a battle, so where do you want to choose your battleground? Obviously on top of a sentinel hand like the original is really cool. Not when it's that big though. This is kind of a foresty look, which, you know, could be happening. In the mountains with the snow, I kind of went away from that because that's more of a Wolverine, not a Colossus thing, although Colossus is from Russia. I am talking really fast. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I don't care how fast I talk. I'm in a bad mood too. Yesterday was really, really bad. It was a really, really, really bad day. Probably why I got up at 3 a.m. So I think ideally the best base for this piece, and I think everyone would agree, would be a Danger Room base. But I think that'd be pretty complex. So I'm okay with the theme of this because he's going with not my X-Men collection. He's actually going with my Wolverine collection. And this will take up a lot less room on the ground because I have 2 other giant Wolverine dioramas coming. Wolverine vs. Ninjas, both of them. One brown, one yellow. So I think it looks really good, but let's look at some close-ups of this base just to see the work of it. So kind of all over, there's a lot of stuff going on. First, I want to talk about the concrete, the rock. This looks really good. It's really well done. The sculpt is fabulous. Looks like real rock, and it's only complemented by the different paint colors they used on here and where they put the paint. Some of this, it looks like almost gravel could roll away, but it's not. I really, really like that. And I'm a big critiquer of rock and concrete bases. This is done fabulously. Then to add to that effect, there's it looks like real dirt. I think he used real dirt that he glued on here, and you can't tell it's glued. It looks like it's just sitting so it would fall off. Looks really good. Very, very impressed by that. And along with that too, he has some almost like grass or moss growing. A little bit of it fell off, but not much. It feels like real grass. Crazy how he did that. I'm not a big fan of the dead vines, the ropes, the strings that he put on there. I think it could have gone without, so I could obviously easily remove those. And then the different plants he used almost looks like this big crabgrass here, overgrown on both sides. Looks fantastic. It looks real. Obviously it's not, otherwise it'd be dying already and you'd have to water it. And then kind of the leafy green part over here, that's probably what I'm least a fan of on this base besides the dead vines. I'm not going to remove it though because it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look as amazing as the rest of the base. So kind of a really short review because it's just a base and we're just going over that, but it's fabulously done. I really like it. You can tell a lot of thought, a lot of time, a lot of detail went into it. I'm going to highly recommend this guy. If I can figure out how to make this work. So I imagine he does other custom bases and other stuff as well. But man, I mean the gap is that big on both feet. So I can get one foot in flush, like I said, but then the other one is completely, it's not even near the peg, so, or the hole. So it sucks, but I'll keep working at it, and it doesn't do a permanent split in the middle. But when I was removing Wolverine, part of his collar chipped off. So it's already a bad day. Up at 3 a.m. on my day off, followed by a very horrible day, very nauseous all last night, all this morning, and then I broke a statue. So hope you're having a better day than me, and I will have a better day tomorrow for sure. Actually, I'm going to review a few more today. I'm going to review another piece by this company, so I don't know when this will air, and I have a debate with Dick Ryder, so that'll air too. But let me know what you think of this base. Let me know what you think about custom bases, especially for custom pieces. I think it's a great idea. And until then, subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. Take care.